Going live.
Going live.
I'm live.
Oh, I think I'm up in the right thing.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Sorry.
What's up, 3 people? I don't know who you are, but we're here. Hey. All right.
It's okay to get 5 per person.
Do you have your cell phone stand?
Yeah, it's right there. I need it though.
Okay, so you're going to take that one. Maybe all I'll do is right here.
Come on. Here we go.
Good.
All right, we are live.
Well, we got 6 people. And you know what's awesome?
Friday.
It's like we got 6 people. No. You probably have more, and you have like 7 minutes left before we even start. So this is up.
Well, we put it on 9:50 on this.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
We're gonna start at exactly 10 a.m. So 7 minutes. Ask us any question that you have.
Stand by.
We're going on a live on a bunch of different things. Let me clean my camera. I feel like it's no. I was not better.
Okay, live.
I feel like we see better on your camera than mine.
Yeah, my camera's really good.
All right, what are we doing today, Dave?
Arms. Doing arms day. And actually, I'll set us up here because there, I'll give us a good
All right, we're doing arm day today.
Arms day.
And a little bit
Gonna
of
get pumped
conditioning
out.
at the end. So you guys can go take new picture for online dating since nothing's happening in person right now.
How are people going to date nowadays? Could you check it? No. I'm trying to see if I can get this guy going.
What guy?
Oh,
Oh,
my.
the live
Yeah.
on Instagram?
Well, this is good. 8 people in. Good. Welcome, guys. Can you get kicked off in a few minutes? Just going to kind of get the technology lined up here. Arm day. It's going to be fun. Got Camille, special guest coach. She's going to take us through some conditioning. I'm going to take you guys through a really cool, comprehensive arm day with a bunch of supersets. We'll get pumped out on a Friday and head into the weekend the right way. So, nice. I'm stoked. Can't wait to get this going with you guys.
Checking connection. We are now live. Live everywhere. All right, so today, wait,
We're working on it.
don't talk for a second. All right, so today we are going to do some arm day with my hubby. Just get those arm real pump out. You don't need really any heavy load. We're gonna show you how you can do it with whatever you have around the house, and then we're gonna do some conditioning with me at the end. So a little bit of Feroz fitness happening. Yeah.
Just one front door would be great. Thank you.
Welcome, me and Dave today. Let me get you somewhere where you can see the both of us.
Well, Amazon's still delivering.
Just don't touch us.
Sorry, walking up the driveway. I'm like, you're not approaching us, are you? Are you crazy?
Just got a package from Amazon. We're like, please stay 6 feet, 6 feet.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
what are you gonna do for your workout today?
We're gonna do some deadlift and push-up.
Oh, cool.
We're gonna keep it super simple, but oh, so devastating.
Devastating and simple. I like it like that.
Me too. I like
Yeah.
simple workout.
Simple is
Because-
usually more effective.
Yes, I think simple is definitely more effective and keeps you a lot more safe.
So you guys are
So
always losing that live stream.
yeah, maybe put it on the left.
Let's try and see if it works over here. Let's see if we can get you guys going better.
All right, are we ready?
What time is it?
It is 9:57.
3 minutes.
I hope everyone's having a good Friday.
So you guys at home, depending on what equipment you have, if you have a set of dumbbells, you're definitely going to want that. A bench, a couch, that'll work too. If you don't have any equipment at all, a backpack with maybe some stuff loaded in it, or even some soup cans would go a long way. I know we got a lot of our Dumbbell Anarchy people tuned in, so most of the guys in that group have 3 sets of dumbbells and some bands. So I'll be doing kind of the Dumbbell Anarchy version of the workout, especially for the hypertrophy stuff. And Camille is going to be showing you a lot of scales using a variety of accoutrements she's accrued from around the house.
Oh, let me go grab them.
She's gonna go get it. So while you guys we got a couple, 1 or 2 minutes here. What I recommend you do is get yourself set up in an area, get your bench out, get your dumbbells out. We're gonna start going through some arm supersets. Keep on losing. Yeah, maybe that'll work better. I got my pre-workout. I got my bells out. I got my bands ready to rock. This is like Dave workout TV. Crazy. A little outlet, a little caffeine. Get ourselves jammed up. We're going to build some muscle. We're going to build some arms today.
I don't have my pre-workout because I'm not allowed to drink it anymore.
Cammie's so jealous because I get to drink all the caffeine.
I have like 20 cases of Red Bull at the house, but I'm not really allowed to drink any right now because I'm pregnant. Otherwise, I would be smashing them until my head explodes.
She read that in a book.
I know, the doctor said.
All right, so let's start getting you guys loose. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little workout you can do with the bands. If you don't have the bands, Cammie's going to show you some stuff you can do without the bands. First off, let's just do some light stretching. I want you guys to put your arm across your shoulder, pull back nice and easy. Just open up your rear delt a little bit.
So starting your warm-up now. And we're going to do upper body, so you got to make sure all those muscle and joints are loose and ready to
the other
work.
arm. Cam, if you tilt your camera down a little bit, you will get that glare from the light.
Oh, I was wondering where that was from.
And now, just go elbow across.
No, glare is still there.
Still have it.
Still there.
It's like I'm like an angel.
Real.
You want to keep moving a little bit, and hit the other side.
Oh, got it.
Brilliant.
Now this.
Good. Now you're going to go elbow behind the head.
A little late.
Towards that side. Open up your tricep. Push your head back. Open up the shoulder. Open up the tricep a little. Go to the other one. Cross. Lean it. Oh yeah, it feels good. Feel that all the way down my hip.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really tight.
That's tight. That's some tight ass muscle. And you're gonna take your wrist. I want you to take your fingers down to the ground and just pull back and open up your wrist and bicep a little. Then you're gonna go the opposite arm. Bicep. Yes. I got our Thundr-Bro Conan wraps on today.
Okay.
I'm ready to bring some pain.
Okay. You're like a walking billboard right now with your brand.
I am. That's how I mean, like, I'll tell you what.
You're like wearing every single product that you have.
I don't make this shit up. I love everything we do.
I love it too. I feel bad though too.
Okay, so and by the way, that's a ferocious sweatshirt on, just in case you guys weren't wondering. So with the band, we're going to start with some bandit pull aparts. I know we've done this a lot before. And Cam's going to show you the scaled version of this, which is going to be some arm swings across, some scissors with the arms, and then some arm circles. So we're going to do 20 each. With the pull apart, you're going to start with your arms nice and straight at a 45-degree angle. The band's kind of a little bit above eye height, and you're going to pull down to the chest. So we're going to start with just 20 right here, and Cam's going to show you just arm crosses across the body.
So if you don't have a band, you're doing my version, and we're just going to open our shoulder back and forth. But when you come back, really try to think about squeezing your upper back muscles. It's not just an arm swing. We're like still trying to get a little squeeze in the back so we can fire up those muscles.
You get 20, come over your head, 20 behind the neck.
My chest is so from sitting here. So instead of going over your head, the one without bend, we're just gonna go with little scissor. And again,
And finally,
when you're at the top,
you guys are going to
squeeze
do palms
back.
up for 20. Palms up to the sky. Good. So
Great.
next, we're going to start getting our biceps a little bit hot.
And now 20 arm circle for
Okay,
us. And Dave is going to wait a second for the people without the bend to catch up.
So while Cammie's doing the swings, you guys with the band, the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to do some banded hammer curls. So this is just for some blood flow. You're just going to get 50 reps of a nice light banded hammer curling. If you don't have this, grab a light soup can and you're going to do the curls. So Cammie's going to show you with her soup cans. So I'm just getting my 50 curls. This is just stretching out
and go grab
the bicep and pushing some blood. And Cammie's going to get another soup can. And this is really a warm up, but just to kind of push some blood into the arms.
We're going with crushed pineapple.
Yep, 50 curls with the crushed pineapple. Crushed pineapple curls. This is a warm up. You know, don't feel silly or anything like that. We're gonna get to the real stuff in a second.
But it should burn, like an old burn.
Yep.
Just start burning. Just getting blood in your muscles so they're really activated and ready to fire.
Next one you guys are going to do with the band is you're going to string it up nice and high. And you're going to perform 50 banded press downs. So it's going to be just like this. You're going to press down and separate your hands at the bottom. Just nice and smooth for a set of 50. Cam's going to do the same thing with the cans, but she has two options. She's either going to go above her head and get 50 overhead tricep extensions. Yep. And I'm going to do these with the banded extension here just to get some blood in the tricep. Ooh, it's like eerie quiet without music or anything. Yeah, look at that voice. That voice is amazing.
Totally lost count here.
It's okay. I get 10 more. Yeah.
I think it's 50. All right, so the whole goal of this right now is really just pumping blood in your muscles. So if you guys are seeing me and Dave are moving really fast in the movement,
yep.
Like we're not really taking our time, going slow, because that'll bring too much damage in our muscle. And we want to save that for the real workout. Mm-hmm. This is really just making the blood flow in the muscle that we're about to use.
Yeah, so what we're going to do next is we're going to do a bunch of supersets. We're going to have a bicep movement paired with a tricep movement. Each one we're going to go through 4 or 5 sets. And as we go through, depending on what equipment you have, we're going to make each set just increasingly a little bit more challenging. So for us, we'll be making the weight heavier. For you guys, it may be increasing the repetitions or slowing down the tempo of the movement. It just depends on what you have access to. So the first superset is going to be, Camille already knows what we're getting into. A spider curl. So with the spider curl, what you're going to do is you're going to have the bench at about a 45-degree angle. I might go a little bit lower with this one so you guys can see. And as you curl, the bench is supporting your chest, and you're going to curl your arms up and turn your thumbs out as far as you can so that your hands land right at the side of your head. So this is the spider curl. Now, if you don't have a 45-degree bench like this, that's totally fine. You can do this by leaning over the arm of a couch, or what you can do is something like this over the arm of the couch where you can have both elbows supported and you'll be doing essentially a preacher curl off the end of the couch. Very similar movement, it's just isolating the bicep.
All right, let's just show you what that would look like. So for example, this is your couch. They can kneel down on the floor here.
Yep.
Or even with the chair, you can do this. And then he would just be doing a preacher curl here with his elbows supported. So you can pull out your chair, and that's what we're going to do if you don't have an inclined bench, which a lot of us don't.
Cool. So that's the first movement. Now the second movement we're going to do is going to be a tricep press down. So with you guys who have the band, you've already got your band set up. you're already good to go. I want you to see if you can actually get a couple different types of band tension in because we're going to make it a little heavier and heavier as we move. I've also got this tricep extension rope that I'm going to use for that. If you don't have that, what I'm going to have you do is a bench dip. So it can be done on the end of a couch, on the tip of a table or a bed. Cam will show you right here. She's going to grab her hands on the sides, and she's going to do a bench dip down and all the way back up. You can make that harder by elevating your feet or even putting some weight on your lap, okay? Now, rep scheme. Today is going to be crazy pumpy. We're going to do a lot of reps. So the sets are going to work in a descending scheme of 30 for the first set, 20 for the second set, 10 for the third set, and then we're going to end with a drop set where we're going to do 10, then we're going to drop the weight down or reduce the intensity a little bit and do 10 more. So I'm going to have Cam set up for this. I'm going to start my first set of 30 spider curls with just a set of 20-pound dumbbells, so pretty light. Now, if you don't have a dumbbell that you can actually get the right weight with, what you can do is instead of grabbing 2 dumbbells, you can grab a single dumbbell. And actually, even if you just have one 60-pound dumbbell, if you have 2 hands moving the 60, that's basically like 2 sets of 30s, or 1 set of 30s. So you can reduce the weight that way too. So whatever you got, get yourself set up. We'll give you about 30 seconds, and we're going to start with the first set. I'm going to start on the spider curl. Cam's going to start on the tricep extension. Every time we cross paths, we're going to give ourselves a high five. Actually, there's a little thing we're going to do. So, Cam, we're going to do this. You're going to bring your foot up. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then chest bump.
A little chest bump.
A little chest bump, and not on the baby.
Ouch.
Okay? Pop's got a big chest. All right, so get yourself set up.
Okay, Adam, also, if you don't have a dumbbell for the curl, grab your backpack or your suitcan. And in your backpack, just keep adding load so you can keep adding books or other soup can in it. And we'll add like weight for every set.
Soup cans.
And I'm going to use that little thingy there.
For bench dips?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It's good so they can have that version at
Gotcha.
home. So I'm going to do the dip for the people I'm going to do the home version that you don't have all the dumbbell. Dave is going to do the dumbbell version if you guys have all the dumbbells.
It's called dumbbell anarchy. You need to trademark dumbbell anarchy.
Yeah, it's not. So I'm just going to move you guys so you can see me. So
right,
I'm going to start
first set of
right
30
here
spider curls.
with 30 dips.
Notice I'm going really slow.
I think the chicken soup
weight's
works
a little bit lighter,
better
slow
because
the
there's more
tempo
protein.
down. Everything should be smooth.
Can you move it a little so I can take
Sure.
a dip here?
I'm just going to finish this set.
No, because now we're going to be late.
Okay, fine.
0.
When you're pregnant, you always win. Okay.
Are you pregnant?
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
All right, so I'll start again. Set of 3. So what I was saying to you guys is, as you're doing this, depending on what weight you have, you can always make it challenging by going slower. So here I'm doing a 2 count up, a 2 count down. You can add a hold in to make it more challenging. So this would be a hold. Just a good squeeze at the end of each rep. And if you have enough weight, you can just kind of move smooth through these 30. There you go.
This is too small.
There you go.
No, it's not working. Whatever, I'll finish.
Another thing I like to tell athletes to do is just to observe yourself. And, although we assign numbers and weights, there's a lot of subjective markers, like how the muscle's burning, feeling like you're getting close to failure.
Yeah.
These are all things we want to try to target each set.
Definitely for these specific type of work, especially going down in number but up in weight, you want to pretty much reach failure or towards failure in every single set. I've noticed when I do those, often I'll end up not even changing the load.
So Cam might do this with 120-pound dumbbell, and she might just move right here with the same movement. Okay. So you notice I did probably a little more than 30 because I was just trying to listen to how my muscle was feeling, just to try to get close to failure. It's going to go right to the tricep extension now. Yeah. So I'm going to go to the rope and hit my first set of 30.
And I'm going to go on the preacher curl because I'm not a fan on laying down on my belly right now.
I'm going to show you guys from the side at least how to separate the hands So as you come down, you want to separate your hands.
So preacher curl here. I'm gonna kneel down and just bring my elbow to the end of the bench. And we're doing 30.
Good, nice and slow, Cammy.
I lost my number.
It's okay, you're at 1. You're at 1.
No, I think I'm at 12. I have no idea.
Same deal, smooth reps. I'm gonna go to 40 on this one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
30 for me because that was getting really hard the last 5 reps.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. 90 seconds rest now. So chill out. Your arms should be burning and pumped out a little. So this is the recovery time. Some things we were kind of talking about just to getting you to the right state of intensity. Number 1, you can always increase the reps. So, you know, I'm trying to get that first set to the point where I'm really pushing blood in a muscle and starting to burn. So there on the press down, I kept going to 40 because I wasn't quite there yet, right? So this is just building skills of self-observation. The other thing you can do is slow down. So you can slow the tempo down, or maybe instead of just pumping these reps out, you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's great if you only have lightweight. That's extremely effective. Camille was showing you some scales. If you only have limited dumbbells, you know, she took a dumbbell and if she only had a set of 35s, but that was too heavy for her to do curls, she could grab 135 on both ends. And now essentially she's got about a 17.5-pound weight. I don't know how my math is on that, but I think it's pretty accurate. Yeah, so good. Definitely felt it on that first one. Now we're going to reduce our reps. So we're going to go from sets of 30, or I know I did a little bit more than 30, but just bring it down in reps and up in weight. So I'm going to move from those 20-pound weights on the curls to 35s for 20. Cam can do the same thing. If she was doing a tricep press down with the band, can you show the band here for a second, Cam? So what she could do is she could do one of 2 things. She could use the same band and keep the reps the same, or she can add tension by actually doubling the band. So if she was going to double the band, she would just do this instead, and she would grab an end in both hands. Can you show that? Cam, this is going to be really hard. Watch how hard this is going to be for her. And now try to do a press set. She can't even do it. So even that's too much tension for her. But it would basically look like this, right?
Oh, congratulations. You can do it.
It would basically look like this now, right? Where it said now you doubled the tension of that
You're
band.
the worst.
And another thing you could do is you could do the same thing, just a single loop, but you could add another band. So you could go a single loop with 2 bands now, or whatever you have. Now, if you don't have that and you were doing the dip version, this might be the time to maybe elevate your feet or put some weight on your lap for the set of 20 just to add the load or make it a little bit harder. All right, so.
All right, I'm going to do the tricep down.
Nice. Look at that booty. Okay, so I'm grabbing the 35s for the spider curls. That should be pretty challenging for 20. This is a very isolated kind of movement. So it puts the force right on the bicep, which is nice. If you have shoulder pain, this is always a nice option. People seem to alleviate shoulder pain because they don't use as much of the front delt when they're doing these because the chest is supported. Here we go, 20.
Ooh, mama. Owie. That was heavy.
6, 7.
So we're in our sets of 20 now. 20 dips or tricep extension into 20 spider curl or preacher curl.
3, 4, 6, 8, 9. Oh, that was hard. Cool. Oh, yeah. So now when I go over the press down, I'm going to bump the weight up for the 20 to get enough intensity out of it.
So I'm not going to bump the weight up because I don't have an in-between weight, but I'm going to slow down my reps for this one.
Way to go, Cammy.
And I'm going to put my...
Not too much time between the transitions and one move is the other. Just kind of get yourself set up and go.
Put that little thing under my knee. So here I'm just going to go with a bigger tempo. Last time.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Whoa! Oh, yeah. Harder. Whew. Good. Getting a little pumped out there. This is the second set of our bicep tricep supersets. It's just a little sample of the hypertrophy work we're doing at Muscle Anarchy, specifically the program Dumbbell Anarchy, where we adapted all to just 3 sets of dumbbells and some bands. So pretty easy stuff. Cammy doesn't like it when I point you to resources, but I want you to know where you can find more of this. Okay, so next thing, what do you think? We're gonna bump it up again. So we're now gonna go to 10. This should be the hardest set, a good hard set of 10. So if you're doing the bicep curl, this should be a really challenging spider curl for 10. One thing you can also do, and I'll show you with Camille, is if the weight just isn't heavy enough, you can always add manual partner resistance. So that would look like this. So Cam, come on up here, and we can just pretend like you have dumbbells. Yes, dumbbells. Okay, cool. So Cam will show you. So if I had dumbbells in my hand, or even if I didn't have dumbbells at all, right? What Cam could do is she could press down on my arms as I do this on the way up and especially on the way down, where she's going to put manual resistance on top of the weighted resistance. So that's really effective if you're limited in dumbbell weight. To get more intensity, manual resistance is awesome. That's what the pros do. So very, very effective. You're not shortchanging yourself at all there.
All right, 10 and 10.
10 and 10. So this is just a good heavy set of 10. Same thing with the press down. You know, if you can get more load on that press down, double the bands up, get a really hard set of 10. That's great. I'm gonna actually gotta make a big jump here. So I'm going from the 35s to the 60s, which is gonna be a big jump for me, but I know it's also gonna be really challenging to do these spider curls with 60-pound dumbbells. So here we go. Third set. Maybe a little swig of pre-workout before this one. Get your soup cans out, Cammy. All right, come on, Dave.
That was good.
Good hard set of 10.
I just get to work. I don't like resting.
Oh yeah, good. I am happy with that. That's a good set right there. Good. Now I'm going to go right to the tricep press down, so I'm going to bump the weight up again.
And I'm just going to slow down even more.
This one.
20 to 35. I think I can do 35.
All right. Yeah, try 135. Try it on the spider curl version too. You just kind of do the full deal.
Well, I don't want to lay down on my baby bum.
Gotcha. Oh. 6. 8. 9. 10. Oh, good. Good hard set of 10 right there. Ooh. Good, Cammy?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, rest. Do another 90-second rest. Let your muscles recover. Again, like every set, the goal is just to try to get you a little close to failure. You don't have to fail, but you have to feel like, I don't know if I can do 5 more, or the muscle's really starting to burn. Oscillation of the muscles where they start to tremble a little. These are all great markers for you to aim for, especially in your working sets. And not every single set is going to be like that, but I'd expect if you're doing like 5 sets, 3 out of 5 should be really challenging like that. So, last set is going to be fun. It's going to be a drop set. So what you're going to do is you're going to stick with that heavy 10. So whatever you did for 10, you're going to stay there. You're going to do 10 good reps. Then you're going to drop the weight to the previous weight you did for 20, and you're going to go to an additional 10. So it's 10, drop, 10. Now, when you do that drop and you go for the additional 10, if you're not getting close to failure on that next set of 10, just keep going, because I really want you to try to get close there.
Yeah.
This is the last set, so you want to cash it out, like cash in your chips, leave it all on the field, whatever we're going to say. This is the one that I want you to really try to make this hurt. So Cam's going to do the same with the dip, or maybe she'll do a weighted dip, strip the weight, and then go to failure or close to failure with just the body weight. But she's actually got the press down. She do the press down.
The press down.
If you're doing it with the band, it could be like, hey, 10 with the double bands, take one of the bands away, and then rep it out to failure with just a single band. So that's how these drop sets work, is you're just reducing it and trying to keep the muscle working.
The little C doesn't work for the dip.
It is a little C. All right, so here we go. It's going to be hard. I'm going to go 10 and 60, and then I'm going to try to go to failure with the 35s after that.
And drop right away in the next weight, so don't wait in between.
Oh. 6, 8, 9, and here comes the drop. Literally dropping the weight.
Oh.
35.
So I did 10 and 15 because I could tell that after 10 I had a little more.
Have a little more than 10.
So if after your first 10, you get into 10 and the next one, and you have a little more, just keep going.
This is where it gets ugly. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Here we go.
6, 8.
My arms are getting
9,
pumpy.
10.
Come on, get to 15.
2, 3, 4, 8, 9. Oh, ow. Owies.
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 Right.
Oh, that hurt. All right, tricep press downs.
Here we go.
Let's keep the arm pumped up for these sets.
No lollygagging.
No lollygagging. So for this, what I'll do is I'll do 10 and 100, drop it to 80, failure at 80. Down. Oh boy. This is where it gets spicy.
That's kind of spicy for me. Here we go. 20s.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. Oh gosh. Yes. Pumped out. Holy crap. Thanks, Cam. Good. I can see that bicep muscle working, Camille. Look at that bicep. Good. All right. Take a little rest to get situated.
cardio and good?
So let's see, what time are we at here? So we're
10:30. We should do cardio.
okay. What if we did one more, just 3 sets instead of 4? Of 2 more exercises, we'll be done in 10 minutes at 10:40. Would that work? 2 sets, okay. So we're gonna finish off the arms with 2 sets of another combo. I'll make sure it really burns, don't worry. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna pair a skull crusher with a hammer curl. Now the skull crusher, the cool thing here is with the press downs, you're working the outer head of the tricep. With the skull crusher, you're working the inner head of the tricep, kind of the drop you see from overhead. With the hammer curl, you're hitting the outer long head of the bicep as opposed to the inner head you were hitting with the spider curl. So you can do this on the floor. Same deal, you can do it with your soup cans. The skull crusher, I'll kind of show you some of the mechanics with Camille. So let's turn this to the side real quick, and I'll get this out of the way. Okay, so Cam goes down on the bench, she's lying her back. What she's gonna do with the skull crusher is first she's gonna bring her arms up, feet on the ground, Cam. I want you to try to get your elbows above your shoulder, and you're gonna hold them right here. And from here, she's just gonna bend her arms so it's right to the crown of her head and then extend. Boom, okay? That's the skull crusher. Now, for the hammer curl, good job, Camille. And you can do that same thing. You can do the same thing on the ground. For the hammer curl, you're gonna take a grip with the dumbbell with your thumb up, just like you strike a hammer with, and you're gonna bring it across your body to the opposite pec. So it's gonna be like this. This is the hammer curl right here, okay? So it's gonna alternate. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do 2 sets of each one of these movements to failure, right? So hammer curls to failure, skull crushers to failure, rest 90 seconds, and we'll repeat that again. That's how we're gonna finish off the arms, and then Cam is gonna take you through some conditioning. So I'm gonna grab a weight, it doesn't have to be crazy heavy. I'm gonna grab like the 35s. I expect to try to get anywhere 25 to 30 reps to get to failure with these 35s. And if it's heavier, it might be less reps. If it's lighter, it might be more reps. Keep the reps nice and smooth. You're gonna transition one to the other, then you're gonna rest. So Cam might start on a hammer curl. I'm gonna start on the tricep extension.
How many hammer curls?
So it's to failure, okay?
Oh,
Till you can't go anymore. Now, if you guys wanted to do this also, you know, with the band too, a bandit hammer curl, that's another option. I like to alternate though, because we already got a double arm curl, and so I like the idea of alternating. Do you want to start on the tricep extension or the curl?
I don't care.
Okay, start on the tricep extension. And what Cam can also do here is, because we have the lightest weight we have is 20s, she can grab 120 or 135 and just do it with both arms. So I'm just going to make sure she's set up so she is safe in how she's doing this. One thing you want to do if you're doing that is just make sure you don't drop the weight on your face, because the face is super pretty.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do.
Okay, so let's give her 20s. I wanted to use the 35s for the curls anyways.
Why would someone want it to drop on my face?
All right, so she's doing the skull crushers to failure. I'm doing the hammer curls to failure. This is going to be one giant set. So here we go. Just get myself out of the way here. 1,
Because
2.
because I'm shaking.
And you can always make this more challenging by just going slower too.
Which is what I'm doing. You can't see me shaking.
That's 10.
Okay. It's hard to stand up with that belly.
It's getting harder.
Here we go. So two failures, it's two-way, right? So it's either you can no longer do the movement, or when the technique goes to trash, that's when you're done. That's a failure. So if it looks ugly, you're done.
5, 6, owies. Oh, that hurts.
All right, right into the next one.
Right to the next one. So now I'm going to move to the skull crusher. Cammie's going to move to the hammer curl.
And I don't think I'll do as many as you.
Grab a quick drink of water here. Collect yourself and right into it. My arms feel super full of blood. It's like I have an arm boner. You know what I'm talking about, Camille?
No.
Like an erection of the arm.
You annoyed me so much. Oh, my rep is starting to be ugly, so I'm done. 26. So we're doing literally. All right, so we're doing a max set of skull crusher and a max set of hammer curl. We're gonna do that 2 times. So we just got done with the first time. So max skull crusher into max.
Oh gosh. Owies. 90 seconds.
You're so dramatic.
I am dramatic. The more dramatic you are, the more muscle you gain. And if you talk to your muscles specifically, if you say things like, I command you to grow, your muscles will grow. They listen, but you got to be really firm with them.
Yeah.
Just like Camille, I command you to be my wife. I had to be careful there.
Yeah, I was definitely giving you the look.
Yeah, she was ready. She's ready to take me out.
Yep. I might be a little bit more silent, but I think I'm deadlier, so I'm gonna be careful.
And this stuff we're doing, it's super high rep. This is kind of cool because, when you do these sets to failure, you don't need to do 10,000 sets to failure. You just do 2, 3 good sets to failure. And that's enough of a stimulus to get you anabolic to help the muscles grow. Yeah. But the intensity needs to be there.
It's also great, really great way to build stamina. I think, in CrossFit, when people want to get stronger, they just go for that heavy loading a lot and a lot and a lot. But that, if you just always do too rapid and heavy loading, you still don't really develop that stamina component that goes with it. A little, for sure, because it still translates a little. But this is great to get really both and also remove a lot of the unnecessary planning of just the extra heavy loading every day.
Yeah, and I think CrossFitters are amazing at really getting the most out of their body.
Yeah.
They're really good at working. Their neurological connections are outstanding. Where they really stand to gain a lot of ground is just building their physical bodies, of doing some bodybuilding and, learning not just to use what they have to the maximum efficiency, but increasing the hardware that they have to work with. All right, was that 90 seconds? That was really quick.
That was 90 seconds.
I really don't want to do this next set.
I do.
Mm-hmm. All right. What Camille wants, Camille gets.
I hate waiting.
All right, here we go. It's okay. You rest. You don't need to rest too long. It can cause this compounding stress when you don't get fully recovered, which is good.
Mommy likes to work. My hands are in place, right?
Don't smash that pretty face.
I know.
A lot harder this set.
You make a noise when it gets hard. I just get completely silent.
Oh God. Oh.
I can't handle the drama.
Oh yeah.
I should be the one being dramatic.
Ow. Owies. Keep on saying owies. It's like when you're a little kid. You know, because it's like when you're a little kid and you fall off the bike and hit your face and you're like, owies! That's how it feels. It feels like 1,000 bee stings all over my arms. Oh my God. I'm not dramatic. You're dramatic. You're dramatic. I'm not dramatic.
You're dramatic.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Right to the next one. Stop lollygagging. This is
Yes.
I can't handle you. If you're not going to work, then I'm going to find another workout partner.
Good luck. Literally cannot find any other workout partner right now.
Oh. All right, here we go. Wait. Barely got this one down. Oh, crapola.
All right, so that was our little pumpy session this morning. And now we're going to finish with a little bit of lifting, conditioning, mostly core work today. I know I said deadlift and push up, but since we just smashed our arm, I don't think it's a good idea to just push up on top of it.
I'm doing push-ups. I get my arm pump on.
Yeah, well, good for you. So what we're going to do, we're going to do 10 rounds, and we're going to do 10 either dumbbell deadlift or backpack deadlift. If you have that, into 10 tuck crunch or V up. I will not be doing the tuck crunch of the V up because I don't want to smash the baby. So I'm going to have Dave demo for you guys what the tuck crunch and the V up are. Okay. So it's going to do 10 rounds, 10 and 10. So you shouldn't get too confused with the amount of rep you're doing here. So for the deadlift, if you're using dumbbell, I want you guys to go down just so you can keep your back straight. So if you go down and the back starts to round, that's too low. So maybe you want to go just right below the knee. I would think for most people, like right below the knee. If you're using the dumbbell, it's perfect. If you have a backpack, you should be able to go to the ground, no problem. So we're going to do 10. You're going to drive your heel, extend your knee, and then extend your hip, and then break at the hip, and then bend at the knee, really keeping that back arc, and think about pushing your butt back. Pushing your butt back, keeping your chest up is really going to help you keep that back arc, which is truly all we're focusing on in this movement. That's really the number one priority. And be careful, a lot of people trying to keep their chest upright and just bend at the knee. And as you can see, that's more like a squat than a deadlift. So we really want to break at the hip and let the chest fall forward. So your back should be kind of like a table at the bottom. Dave should be able to put the glass on my lower back at the bottom until my knee extends, and then the glass would fall as I open my hips.
If you guys have dumbbells and you want to get some extra weight, you can also attach bands to the dumbbells when you do those. It's going to basically be a banded dumbbell deadlift.
Yeah, you could stand on the band and then have it on the dumbbell and do that. So we're going to do.
If you only have bands at all, that would be another option too if you don't have dumbbells.
Or just use the band.
Yep.
So we're going to do 10 deadlift into 10 V up. If you can keep those unbroken, and then we would scale it down to tuck crunch, and then scale it down even more to sit up. And since there's my little baby bump here, I don't know if you can see it. I can do those. So for me, I'm not sure yet how I'm going to scale it.
Well, I'm gonna scale it to a push-up because I've got back stuff. So
okay, then maybe I'll do that. I'll do push-up on my knee instead of the V-up and tuck crunch. But at home, I want you guys to do the abs too. So you guys do the V-up and tuck crunch.
Yeah. So you want to show them what that looks
Yes,
like?
please.
Okay, let's break it down.
Just one or two, okay.
Okay.
So the V up is going to start in a hollow, arms overhead, legs down, and David's just gonna go in a V shape and just touch his leg. That's good. Now that's the version 1. Version 2 would be the same thing with the knee bend. So arms up and just knee bend, and then version 3 would just be a normal sit-up. So you would just do 10 of these. The goal is to find the version that you can do the whole 10 round without stopping. So the whole 10 round unbreaken, just like my dad used to say. We're French Canadian. My dad always said that he did the workout unbreaken, and I thought it was the cutest thing.
So it's 10 reps of deadlifts. Is it 10 push-ups too, or 10 deadlifts and 10 V-ups, or 10 deadlifts and 10 push-ups? Those are the 2 options?
Yes.
Okay.
For 10 rounds. So this should take us, I'm assuming, under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll put the 10-minute 10 cap.
So hey, Anarchy Nation, if you want to make the push-up spicier, do what I'm doing. I'm going to put the band around my back to get a band-resisted push-up when I do these.
And those are just very typical for roast workout at home, minimal equipment.
Hey, enough with the marketing.
Quick and straight to the point.
Buy it now, buy it now.
I'm bad at marketing my stuff because I just want to help people.
For a limited time only, Cammie's going to give you $10,000. Just kidding, got you.
See that Corvette right there? It could be yours.
It could be yours.
Your dad would kill us.
Oh boy.
I don't know what weight to use for this.
Yeah, what I'm going to do, just to get a variation on the deadlift, is I'm going to actually do a sumo style deadlift. So I'm going to go wide, and with the bell, it's just between my legs. And this is going to be my deadlift.
Always has to be fancy. All right, so get your setup ready. We're going to start in 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Give a clock.
10 rounds.
Oh, it's 10 rounds.
Deadlift, setup, or deadlift,
push up.
Push up.
Yeah. So it's not nothing complicated. It's 10 rounds of 10 and 10. You just need to remember one number. 10. Just remember 10.
And I'm sure we both are getting that.
Yeah, we are.
I'm amazing at messing things up.
All right.
But in my defense, I always end up doing more because I'm scared to not do enough.
That's okay. It's good. Here we go.
All right. Are you giving us the countdown?
Here we go. Athletes ready. In 3, 2, 1, go fuck yourself.
Oh, that's so nice. Count in your head. This is gonna mess me up.
So I think it's about.
So I'm gonna do those push-up on my knees, so it's not too much on my belly.
It should be about 45 seconds per round. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I've been feeling we did this first round fast.
Yeah, let's get this good pace. 9 more rounds. Whew.
This is fun. I like training with my hubby.
I'm starting to breathe kind of hard, Cam.
2 for me.
I'm not loving how hard it is right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9.
So as you can see, I don't go all the way down with the dumbbell because I really want to keep my back arch.
And I don't go all the way down with the dumbbell because I don't want to ruin my dad's garage floor.
Ooh, that was round 3, right?
That's it.
I told you I struggle with counting. Really keep that back arc. Chest goes down. I think that was down. I'm so bad.
Oh, I'm feeling those triceps now.
Yeah.
those tricep skull crushers to failure.
Yeah, those push-ups are getting hard fast, even if I'm on my knee. Starting round 5. Just keep moving at home. Keep moving. Almost halfway. Halfway for me.
Ooh. Right. Oh, you're getting pumpy.
Oh, yeah. 6. Oh, just keep moving. Keep that back arc.
If you guys have like a barbell at home, this is a cool complex with, 155, 185.
Almost there. Round 7 for me.
I think that was round 5 for me.
Catching you. Here we go. Long stretch. Long stretch.
I am feeling this in my shoulders, Camille.
Oh, me too. It's a intense burn. Two more. 2 more for me. Keep moving at the house. Keep moving.
Oh. Oh. You pumped out. This is cool. Even this has some good bodybuilding effect. As long as you keep moving smooth. Don't rush the movement.
That's why CrossFit muscle.
Breaths.
Last round for me.
Oh, Cammie's
Oh, come on.
Instagram. You got me. Energy Nation so much. Watch me struggle in the conditioning workout. There she is.
No.
Is that working?
No.
All right. Why? Is it an hour or something or no? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And 10. Wish I did more on this one.
Oh gosh.
Last one.
Oh, owies.
And done for me. Woo! Yay! That's because I got a phone call. It shut down when I get a phone call. It's so
Nobody
annoying.
call us while we're filming. All right, another 10. Oh man, my arms.
Here's the
Super pumped out.
Shut down.
Super pumped.
Are you done, Dave?
No, I'm gonna get all 10 rounds in.
Come on. Here we go at home. Keep it up. You have until Dave is done to finish.
Oh, bands are hard. Bands are hard.
This is your last round?
I believe this is 9. We got this one and then one more.
Okay.
Oh,
You're doing great.
I know. These Bandit push-ups are crushing me. But it's good. You can feel the muscle
All
getting
right, let's go.
close to failure every
Enough
set.
talking. Enough talking.
Would you like to know the science of what's going on in my muscles?
No, because you're just using that to stop working out. Let's go.
Okay.
I know you. Careful with the dumbbell from here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Oh,
Here we go, 10 and 10. Right away. Right away. Here we go. 2, 3. And 10. And 10 push-ups. Here we
this is a
go.
good hard tension band.
Here we go. Your last time. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, and go. You can breathe after. I love you.
I know you love me.
Come on, Dave. Go. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job.
Oh, that was
All
hard.
right.
That was hard.
This is it for us today. I think the video somehow stopped, so I'm super sorry about that. I'm going to post the workout on my story, so if you guys are not sure what we did at first, just look on my story. It'll be there. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
So, if you're doing this, you can finish up your workout. If you're doing it with the Bandit push-ups, dumbbells, or barbells. And Cam and I'll stay on with you guys. If you want, feel free to send us a question or a comment. We do a little Q&A to finish this off. Whew. And Cam, where can they comment on here on the live stream? Where do they comment on the live stream to ask a question?
Here, but they haven't commented.
Okay. So, right where it says on the right-hand side of your screen, where it says say something, feel free to ask a question and say something. If you have a question about training
From the hospital.
or a question for me now, but if you have anything you want answered training-wise, nutrition-wise, program-wise, that was a good hard training session. Whew. I got pumped out after that. Those push-ups got hard for sure. It was great to have Cam here too. Nice to work out with your spouse or your significant other. It builds relationships or it breaks them, depending on what kind of relationship you have. Definitely test the strength of the relationship. But yeah, so feel free. You can write a comment right where it says say something, ask a question, anything you guys need or want. If you finished up your workout and you're just cashing out, that's cool. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to do this every single morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. So, we're going to try to keep it on YouTube. I think we can actually get access and put it out to a lot more people that way as opposed to just the Zoom. But at the same time, one of the things I really liked about Zoom was getting to talk to you guys and see you actually train. So we might actually try to do both in the future, but tune into this link Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. we're going through dumbbell anarchy. Camille joined, like today was a little unique because Cam joined in, so we threw some conditioning in with it on our arm day. But what you guys saw, just some really hard, nasty supersets, kind of a typical muscle anarchy, dumbbell anarchy arm day. And even that conditioning workout was super pumpy with the Bandit push-ups. That got, I mean, my shoulders were just completely done. My triceps are done. So you got a good volume in there and a little conditioning component too. Just a nice variety. One of the things we try to do with Thundr-Bro is just find the balance between aesthetics and performance. So the right balance between bodybuilding and functionality, or bodybuilding and what most people recognize as CrossFit, which is just high intensity functional movement stuff. Even that has a context, within bodybuilding, to make sure you spend enough time doing the right stuff that's going to help you meet your goals. If your goal is to compete in CrossFit, you probably end up doing a lot more CrossFit. If your goal is to build aesthetics and stay functional, it probably looks like a lot more bodybuilding. That's kind of what most of our programs center around. Is we're very heavy on bodybuilding and a little bit lighter on the CrossFit stuff. But I don't want to call it CrossFit. It's just like functional fitness, just GPP, general physical preparedness. But the cool thing is, we do these workouts with bodybuilders and they love it because bodybuilding can get kind of monotonous. So, having stuff where you're doing more athletic functional movements, mixing things up, throwing conditioning components in with the weightlifting as a substitute for just steady state cardio all the time is a nice change for them. And likewise, a lot of CrossFitters are just at that point where they just want to look good. They just want to look good and not be hurt. I'm in that same boat. You heard me talking to Cam about like, hey, I'm not going to do that movement. I got, my back injury. It's not even an injury. It's just a fucked up back. And so there are certain things that I just steer away from. That doesn't mean you can't build awesome aesthetics. Like I've found ways to do that. And that's what we're trying to share with everybody. But if you guys have any questions, please write in that box on the right where it says say something at the bottom. Hit me up with a question. I'm sure it'll be valuable to some of the other people here on the feed. I hear my wife screaming. I don't know what that means. The hospital called, so I think that it sounds like good news. I don't know what that means. Maybe we know the sex of the baby now. Who knows? I'm gonna lie back. This is my chest press machine. And what I'll do is I'll put the full stack on, so it goes up to like 225, and then I'll throw bands on top of it. It's fucking awesome.